good morning, good afternoon, and very good evening to you. For good people for tube. Hope you're all today feeling grand and always well you would. Really should have been this, shouldn't it? Good evening, Mr. Bond. Anyway, moving along. Welcome to another Q&A Wednesday, everybody. Let's dive into question one today. So, question one today is, what's your opinion on the new Fender pedals? And also, what are your thoughts on the Roland Jazz Chorus? Okay, so the new Fender pedals, I haven't tried any new Fender pedals yet. You specifically asked about the Pugilist Distortion, which is, oddly enough, the exact pedal I want to try from the Fender range of pedals. Their pedals look ace. I love the way they look. I love the demos that I've heard of them. They sound awesome in demos. They come across really well. So, at this point in time, I haven't tried any out. There are some in the local guitar shop. So hopefully some point I'll, well, I need to go delay pedal shopping soon. So, when I go delay pedal shopping, I might try one. I'm pretty sure they got a Pugilist there. So, and, hopefully that'll be a video. So, in theory, I'll try one then. But they look cool. They look built to last. They sound awesome. I like some of the features some of them have got. But yeah, so I can't really say, but I do like them. I like the demos I've heard and stuff like that. But first-hand experience, I haven't got any yet. I haven't tried any personally. So I don't really know 100%. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if I like them or not. But so when I go delay pedal shopping in the next couple of weeks, when I can afford to, I do intend to try one or two of them. So, and I'll say hopefully I'll make a video on that trip as well. So so yes, but I like them. I really want to try the Pugilist. I also want to try the reverb one and the delay one. I think they're a bit out of my price range to buy, sadly, but I do want to try them nonetheless. But anyway, so yeah, so that's my opinion on Fender. Like I said, at this point in time, I haven't got like a first-hand experience, so I can't elaborate too much, which is kind of annoying. I wish I could, but I can't, sadly. But yeah, I do like the look of them, and I do like the sound of them, and I really want to try them. So yeah, hopefully in the future, I'll get my chance to have a little doodle about on them. Okay, so you also asked, what's my opinion on the Roland Jazz Chorus? The Roland Jazz Chorus is a really, really awesome amp, but I don't like it. Because it's so clean. Because it's like ridiculously clean. With no, you know, you can get it to distort if you use the distortion channel. But I don't like it. I've tried a couple of jazz choruses in the past, and I've plugged into them. I've plugged into quite a few of them. And I've never got on with them. Much in the same way I've never got on with Black Star and Mesa Boogie. Certain Fender amps. So the Roland Jazz Chorus is an amazing amp, and it has that sound that's really distinctive and really awesome, but it's never worked for me personally. Like I say, I remember once going for an audition with a band in London, and I had to plug into a Roland Jazz Chorus, and I was just like, this isn't going to go well. And because I'd already played for a few before that, and I was just plugged into it, and I was just like, the whole... I always do that. I never put my phone on silent. I just put it on silent. Silly Dave. Yeah, anyway. Audition. London, Roland Jazz Chorus. Knew it wasn't going to go well because I'd tried one before. And for the whole audition, I was like, I'm not going to get this job because this just sounds terrible. And lo and behold, I didn't. But I don't think that might have just been because of the amp. Anyway. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know what that was about. But yeah, it just, they just don't work for me. They're too... They sound nice, but I just don't like them. There's just something about it that it doesn't click. They just don't click with me. But they are awesome amplifiers. They really are awesome amplifiers. And they're used by one of my favourite guitarists of all times, Peter Klett from Candlebox. He used one and live, and it just sounds gorgeous with a Les Paul. But as for me, they're not really my kind of amp of choice. If I had a choice of picking anything other than that, I'd probably pick anything other. I just don't get on with them. I have tried 4 I've played through 4 different ones, and they were all the same with me. No matter what I did, I just couldn't get. I could kind of get like an idea of what I wanted out of it. I could get by. You know what I mean? I could get by, but it never felt right. You know what I mean? It wasn't a bad sound that I got out of it. It wasn't shrill and horrible, but it wasn't making me feel like it didn't inspire me to play. It just didn't feel right. And then like if you're not feeling it, if you're not feeling the sound you're making, then it just kind of like, you know, you're kind of like beaten before you started in a way, because it's hard to play properly when you're not enjoying the sound of your guitar, if you know what I mean. I'm sure quite a few of us have been there. If you ever plugged into an amp and you've just gone, no, but you have to kind of get on with it anyway. So there's a few times like I say, I had to plug into them and it's just like it's just not there for me. Granted, though, one thing I will say was that was many, many years ago now, and I've learnt a lot more since then. So it would be interesting to plug into one now and see if my opinion has changed in any way. Because I remember plugging straight into a Roland Jazz Chorus once, so straight in with a Strat, no pedals, and the clean tone and the chorus tone was gorgeous, especially for that kind of African soukous guitar style. Is just gorgeous. If you get a Strat and you put it in position 2 and you turn on the chorus on the Roland Jazz Chorus and just play like that African guitar style, which is just absolutely stunningly gorgeous. It's just a sound you could play on all day. It's just one of those things. But as for the sound that I like, where I've kind of got that semi kind of broken up kind of clean with lots of gain and distortion, it really didn't seem to suit the amp. It just kind of like, it just behaved in a very strange manner. Like I say, it wasn't shrill and harsh, but there was something wrong about the sound. You know what I mean? It was just very, very wrong. Like, you know, the way it felt and the way it sounded. I just couldn't. It didn't click at all for me. It just did not click. I was just like, no, it's not. It's just not. That is not working for me. It's just not working for me at all. It's just not there, which really upset me because I love the look of the Jazz Chorus. Is like one of the coolest looking combos I think ever. It just looks ridiculous. It does look like you could throw it downstairs and it would walk back up the stairs, kick you in the face, and then go, "Are we going to do the gig now? Are you going to behave? Are you going? Don't get up yet. Tell me you're going to." You know, it's like that. It's kind of like a bit of a thug. It looks hard. Anyway, but yeah, Roland Jazz Chorus. I like it, but I don't like it. If that makes any sense. I don't absolutely despise it like I do some amps that I've played in the past. Where I'm just like, I can't. If that amp's anywhere near me, I'm just going to, like, you know, curl up in the fetal position and cry. You know, I mean, there are amps that, you know, I'm sure we've got amps that we all know we don't like in any one way or another. But the Jazz Chorus is not one of them, because I did enjoy playing for it, but I didn't at the same time. It's weird. It was one of those strange things. I was just like, it doesn't feel right. It's just not there. The sound... Like I said, I'm a very feel-based player. So if it doesn't feel right, then I'm not interested. And if I'm not interested, I don't play very well. And if I don't play very well, then what's the point? You know what I mean? That's kind of like how I feel about kind of amps and sound. It has to make me want to play it. You know what I mean? It has to be inspiring for me to want to do it. And sadly, the Jazz Chorus, every time I plugged pedals into it, it just, like, even though it takes pedals like a champ, it just wasn't there. I don't know if it was too clean or what, but I don't know what it was. No matter what I tried with it, it just didn't behave. It drove me balmy. Anyway, I've got to move on because I'm going to talk about that for ages if I'm not careful. So, I hope I answered the question. Like I say, Fender pedals, hopefully I'll get some first-hand experience on them very soon. I've also got a dry throat. There's Roland Jazz Chorus somewhere. Like, I'm going to make you struggle. Anyway. Moving along. Okay, so yeah, so like I say, Fender pedals, hopefully get some first-hand experience soon. So, and hopefully you'll be able to see it as well. So anyway, moving on to question 2 now. Question 2 today is, what fuzz pedal would you recommend for the John Frusciante fuzz tone, and where would you put it in the pedal chain? Okay, so I I wouldn't recommend a fuzz pedal for John's tone. And that sounds... I know a lot of people like, oh, you need like a big muff or Electro Harmonics English muffin or like the Mosrite fuzz or the Boss fuzz he used during the Californication era. I wouldn't recommend any of them myself. Can you guess where I'm going, people of the tube? Personally, get a DS2. I sound like a broken old record, but if you really, really want a fuzz, I would say you want to get the big muff. To be like John, if you want a fuzz pedal, get a big muff. But personally, the DS2 is more important to John's tone than a fuzz pedal. John always used a fuzz, and he would always use it in conjunction with the DS2 and the Ibanez Wah. I can't think of any point I've watched John Frusciante play where he's just using the fuzz alone. Oh no, I tell a lie, I can. But he ended up combining it with the DS2 halfway through. If you look for the TFI Friday version of Scar Tissue, the last solo, kind of like the first 10 seconds or so, I don't really know, I can't remember offhand, but it's like 10 seconds of the last guitar solo. John's just using the Boss fuzz pedal. But you can see he's not quite happy. And the camera does an amazing kind of pan shot. It kind of like if I'm John, I wish, the camera kind of pans over like that, and it kind of comes over his head, and you can see his pedal board. And as the camera gets to about here, you see him kick on his DS2, and he automatically seems a lot happier. And also the AOL sessions, the 2006 AOL sessions, Chili Peppers AOL sessions. John uses a fuzz pedal for the second solo on its own. It's a big muff he uses. And he hits this kind of like double stop. And he immediately flicks his selector switch down to his bridge pickup because he's like, that's too dark. So he goes to his selector switch. And then in the last solo, he starts with the big muff again. But if you watch him, he immediately, well not immediately, but pretty quickly turns it off and just turns the DS2 on. And you can also tell he's just using the DS2 only, because at the end the only pedal he turns off is the DS2. So fuzz pedal. If you really want a fuzz pedal, then get the big muff, the Electro Harmonics big muff. That's the fuzz pedal you want to be getting if you after that kind of John thing. But I would highly rank the DS2 over any fuzz pedal for John's tone. It's just a pedal that's always been there. You know, Mother's Milk, you know, Blood Sugar, Sex Magic era, you know, Californication, By the Way, you know, and Stadium Arcadium era, and also on his solo stuff. You can hear it on his solo stuff. The DS2 is a real mainstay of John's tone, and it is one of those real definitive pedals of John's, you know what I mean? He always had it. That with the Ibanez Wah and the CE1 chorus pedal, those three pedals are kind of like, you know, John's main pedals, you know what I mean? But like I say, the DS1 is his main lead tone, you know, it just is. And also, there is many times I've received comments during John Frusciante videos or other videos in general on YouTube, where I'm using the DS2, and people say, what fuzz pedal are you using? And I'm not using a fuzz pedal. But the DS2 kind of has that kind of, almost that fuzzy quality, especially when you run it flat out. You know, it's got that kind of almost big muff, fuzz facey kind of tone to it, but with like a mid boost. So yeah, I mean, if you really want to get a fuzz pedal for John, then I'd recommend the big muff. But personally, I would highly recommend the DS2 over any of those. Might be quite a controversial thing to say in the John Frusciante community, because a lot of the John Frusciante community does say you need, like, you know, a fuzz pedal to combine with the DS2 and this, that, and the other. And I don't think you do. I think there's far too much emphasis put on like stuff like the CE1 chorus pedal and stuff like a fuzz pedal. You know, Ibanez Wah and the DS2, I can totally understand why, you know, they're kind of like important for the John tone. I can totally understand that. But the CE1, not so much, and the fuzz pedal, definitely not so much. You know what I mean? They're not massively important. You can get away. The minimum kind of thing you can do for John's pedal board is a chorus, a DS2, and a wah-wah pedal. You know what I mean? That's enough. That is literally enough, because you can get, you could use your amps to get that, that kind of cleanish tone. So yeah, I would definitely recommend a DS2, but like I say, if you really want a fuzz pedal, go for the Big Muff, the Electro Harmonix Big Muff. Because it's just, that's what he used, you know what I mean, every now and again. But he would always use a fuzz pedal in conjunction. Well, not always, but literally 90 to 95% of the time, John is using the fuzz pedal with the DS2 or Ibanez Wah or both. You know what I mean? It's never... There's only very rare occasions I've ever heard him using a fuzz on its own, because the way John runs his amps, a fuzz on its own doesn't quite have the cut that you need, and you can hear that on the early California, like say like TFI Friday version of Scar Tissue, and you can also hear it in the 2006 Scar Tissue second solo. It doesn't have the cut, and you can tell John knows it doesn't have the cut, because he whacks the guitar down to a bridge pickup instead of using a neck pickup, because it's just too woolly. It's no cut there. So you also asked where would I put that in the pedal chain. Same place I'd always put it. It's like, I would go from the amp to whatever pedals I wanted here, so say amp to delays, whatever, and then I'd have a wah-wah pedal, and then I'd have the fuzz or DS2, and then go to your guitar. So amp, other effects, wah-wah pedal, DS2/fuzz, and then to the guitar. So that's where I'd put it. You also asked, well, actually, I've already answered the other part of the question without knowing about it. But you also asked, is there any times in songs or concerts where John Frusciante was just using the fuzz alone with a WH10? Yeah, there are a few times. If you listen to the La Cigale gig before Charlie, John's trying out his new hardtail Strat, which I think is a 61. John had this three-tone Sunburst 61 hardtail Strat. I think it's a 61. I could be wrong. Or is it 59? I forget. No, it can't be a 59 because it's a rosewood neck. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But John's doing this like little solo, and you can tell what it is because Flea says bonsoir like that, and John's doing this kind of this messing around with the guitar, and what's going on there is that's the Ibanez Wah and the Mosrite fuzz, and the Mosrite fuzz isn't run super gainy. It's run kind of very low gain because you can hear him turn his Ibanez Wah off and you can hear the tone of the fuzz, which is distinctively a fuzz. And so there's that time. There's also a few times during the Californication era where he'd use a fuzz alone, but not really, not very often. On recordings, there's a lot of fuzz on its own on recordings for kind of gnarl. You know what I mean? Strip My Mind, I think, is a big muff cranked. The Strip My Mind guitar solo is just a big muff on its own. There's a few other kind of cases of just fuzz on its own, but live, John wouldn't really do it. There are songs specific to fuzz, but not really. There's a lot, live John would invariably combine fuzz with DS2 or something like that. So yeah, but anyway, I think I spoke about it enough, so I'm going to move on to question 3 now. So I hope that's answered your question. Move on to question 3 now. Question 3 is, can I use my Boss Looper pedal to record guitar and then copy the wave files into a computer, or should I bother with mics, interfaces, and recording software? Okay, so yeah, I would go recording software. I wouldn't use a looper to record guitar with. You'll be a lot better off investing in some, like an SM57, some kind of interface like an Mbox or one of those, whatever interface, with two mic inputs, and like a recording software like Logic. You know what I mean? You'd be better off that way. You've got more options. You can do more with it. A looper is quite limiting in respect of if you're going to record. You know what I mean? To some people, but anyway. But I find the looping like that is too limiting. I would personally much prefer to have like recording software and do it that way. Like I say, you've got more options then. You can do more with it, and you've got more kind of freedom than you have with a looper. You know what I mean? You've just got more freedom that way. So yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't recommend doing the Boss Looper thing. I would definitely recommend you invest in microphones, interfaces, and recording software. It just makes life better. It really does. Using a loop of stuff like that is all well and good, but I think recording software at the end of the day is if you want to record music, that's where you kind of want to be going. Okay, so that was a quick answer. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I'd say. You also asked, can I use daisy chains to power pedals, or does that damage pedals? No, it doesn't damage pedals. The only thing that hampers daisy chains is daisy chaining pedals is noisy. It makes pedals buzz a lot more. They're very noisy things to use. It's not going to do any harm to your pedals whatsoever, at all. Daisy chains don't damage pedals or anything like that. But in my personal opinion, the same kind of thing with the recording interfaces and stuff like that. I would highly recommend you get something like an isolated power supply. I mean, there's so many decent ones as well. But failing that, I have just remembered one thing. Diego, the company Diego that make pedal boards, they do a power supply that's a daisy chain, and it's whisper quiet. It's amazing. So there's another option. But I do think isolated power supplies are better. Personally, I mean, I would always recommend using the Line 6, the Voodoo Labs Pedal Power 2 Plus. It's just awesome. It's just so quiet and just works so well. But yeah, you can daisy chain pedals and it won't damage pedals. All will be well. Like I say, the only problem is it does make things a bit noisy, and you are prone to ground hum. You know, you get a lot, I mean, with daisy chains, they are quite noisy things. You know, you've got to kind of be aware of that kind of thing. You know, and also certain power when you're plugging it into the wall or an extension lead or whatever can affect how noisy daisy chains are. And so you don't really get that problem with isolated power supplies. You know, they're quite good. But yeah, you can do it, and it's not going to damage anything too much. Well, not at all, actually. Damage too much. What was that saying? Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I still got it. Dry throat. I'm getting a dry throat. Okay. Moving along. So yeah. So I hope that's your question. Like I say, I would highly recommend getting mics, interfaces, and recording software. It's just 10 times easier. And also daisy chains. Yeah, daisy chains, you can, there's nothing wrong with daisy chains. They're not going to damage your pedals. All will be well. Okay, so I hope that's a question. Moving on to question 4 now. Question 4 is, what are your thoughts on Dave Gilmour and Eddie Hazel as guitarists? They are awesome. Dave Gilmour and Eddie Hazel are awesome guitarists. Eddie Hazel's kind of a bit overlooked, which is a bit sad, really, because he was an absolutely stunning guitarist. You just have to listen to Maggot Brain and just go, okay, I need to lay down. It is one of those things. It's just so incredibly powerful, his guitar playing. It's absolutely unreal. So, yeah, Eddie Hazel and Dave Gilmour, I love them both. I love Dave Gilmour's tone, his way he's playing. It's just like, everything's just so... there's so much feel in their playing, you know what I mean? You can really get behind what they're doing. It's just, and it just takes you away, which is, what a good guitarist and a good guitar soloist can do. Is, when you're listening to a guitar solo and it just takes you away, you know what I mean? You just go on this ride with it. I mean, that's just like unreal. And them two, Eddie Hazel and Dave Gilmour, are just like, absolutely awesome at that kind of thing. Absolutely awesome at that kind of thing. And, they just sound gorgeous. The sounds they make and the melodies they make with the guitars just sound gorgeous. You know what I mean? They really do. I mean, there's too many songs to note of how many, how amazing these guitarists sound. But they are awesome. I absolutely love Dave Gilmour. I love Eddie Hazel as well. But just unreal. Unreal. They really are unreal. When you listen to them, you're just like, oh yes, take me away. I'm quite happy to go wherever you want me to go with this. It's just one of those things, just awesome guitarists. Yes. So yes, I hope that's answered your question. That was another quick answer, wasn't it? Good gravy. Okay. Moving on to question 5 now. Question 5 is, I'm thinking of buying a Strat, and in my budget there are three possibilities. There is the Fender Professional, the Fender Original 60s, or should I get a Oswald Strat? Which one would you recommend and why? Okay, so between those three, I'm going to recommend Nick's guitars. Simply because you get what you ask for. You know what I mean? With Fenders, you know, you kind of can run the risk of, you know, preference. Well, not necessarily. With Fender guitars, you know, if you're not buying from the shop, if you're buying online or you're buying blind, you could get a guitar that you might not instantly connect with. With Nick's guitars, because they're handmade and made to order to your specs, you get what you want. You know what I mean? So you get to pick the neck, you get to pick what frets you got, you know, you get to pick the electronics, you get to pick what style body, you know, how the belly cut is, you know, how the arm chamfer is. You know, you get to pick everything, and Nick will make it that way for you. So it's a personal guitar, you know what I mean? It's like my guitars, my Oswald Telly and you know, my guitars, they're made to my spec, and as soon as they came, I was just like, I literally don't have to do anything to them. You know what I mean? They were perfect out of the box, and they still are, and I literally can't put them down. They're my main gigging guitars. I just love them. Like I say, there's nothing wrong with the Fender Professional or the Fender Original 60s series, but like I say, if you're buying blind, you don't really know what you're gonna get. Whereas with Nick, you get to fill out a form exactly what you want, and he'll just build what you ask him to build. You know what I mean? So if you say, I want, you know, a deeper belly cut in it, and I want a deeper arm chamfer, and I want these electronics, and I want the neck to be this profile, and I want it to be skinny or fat or medium or whatever, or a V-neck, you get exactly what you want, instead of kind of like trawling through kind of like, you know, specs of what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? You get what you want instead of kind of like, this is what you get. You know, if that makes any sense. That's the reason I would always recommend Nick's guitars. And also, like, they're just unreal. They're just... every guitar that I've got from Nick, like, you know, the three I own, and like the Safari and the red one I reviewed not so long ago. They're just stunning. They're just stunning guitars. They really are. I mean, it's literally, I don't have any other words. So I'd always recommend Nick's guitars, you know, over Fender. I would, because I would put mine up against any Fender happily. You know what I mean? Because they are as good. You know what I mean? So, and like I say, the really cool thing is you get what you ask for. So, like I say, if you want this, you get that. You know what I mean? Whereas with Fender, it's like, this is what we've got, so you have to buy this. You know, it's like there's no going back to Fender and saying, oh, can you do this, and this? Because, you know, on a series guitar, you're not going to get that. You're going to get that if you go to like a custom shop. But you're paying a lot more money. So that's the reason I recommend Nick's guitars, is you get what you ask for. You know what I mean? And he will build it to your spec, and they are awesome. And they're also handmade as well. And there is something to be said about handcrafted instruments. There really is. Not to say machine-made guitars are rubbish, because they're certainly not. My favourite guitar in the world is, you know, just a, you know, off-the-line Mexican 60s reissue. But Nick's guitars have something about them. They really do. There's something really... He puts so much care and attention into them that they just come out feeling, sounding, and just playing awesome. And, you know, they really are awesome. So that's why I'd recommend an Oswald. I would really go for an Oswald. You know, I'm not being biased. I'm just, you know, I'm speaking because I own 3 of them, and I want more. You know what I mean? I want more of Nick's guitars because I think they're absolutely awesome. And I really do. And that's like they're what I use. You know what I mean? My first ever Oswald that he sent me, this one is absolute. I mean, you can see there's also some kind of nice wear on the back and chips and dings, and I'll get a video done on this soon. This is my main gigging guitar, and kind of like has been since I got it in 2017. 2017, and I just love this guitar. I can't put this down. This is my main gigging guitar because I just love it. And so the only thing I changed was I took a Seymour Duncan's out and I got some Evil Sheeps in it instead. But other than that, this is how it came. I haven't touched it. You know, I'm pretty sure I haven't changed. I ain't touched the truss rod. I haven't touched the intonation. I haven't touched anything on this guitar. All I've done is play it because that's what it makes you want to do. But seriously, oh yeah, and the other thing is I took the lacquer off the back of the neck to make it smoother to play. But other than that, but again, ask Nick if you don't want lacquer on the neck, and you can get that. Whereas with Fender, you'd have to kind of do it yourself. Do Fender do necks with no lacquer on? I don't think they do, apart from relics. Anyway, I'm waffling, and I'm gushing all about Nick's guitars. But seriously, out of those three, I would easily recommend a Oswald. Like I say, just fill out the form, and you get what you want. You really do, and his guitars are just awesome. They really are awesome, and I want more. I want more Oswalds in my life. So that's what guitar I'd pick and why I'd pick it. Just because they're really special. Nick's guitars are really, really special, and just as good as any higher end guitar. Easily. They really are. I mean, I love that one. I love my John Strat. I love my Telecaster. The Telecaster, again, was made because I wanted like the Strat contours on the Telecaster because I've never got on a Telecaster. And he made the body, the thickness of a Strat. He put the Strat contours on it. The neck is a pretty much exact, as close as you can get, copy of my white Strat. You know what I mean? That Telecaster is just. I don't need any other Telecasters in my life. I've got that one. You know what I mean? It really is that like one of those things because I'm not one of I'm a Strat fanatic and I like playing Strats, but I love Telecasters. But I've owned so many, I've never got on with them until the Oswald because Nick made it the way what I needed in a Telecaster. Nick made it for me perfectly. So anyway, enough gushing over the Oswald guitars. But yeah, seriously, that's what I'd recommend and why, because just oh my god, they're just amazing, and this thing is an absolute beast. I love this guitar so much. It really is one of those guitars that will be with me forever, and I can't stop playing this. Literally, if I go to a gig without this, I feel like I'm missing a limb. It's one of those weird things. Like if I don't have this guitar with me at a gig, I feel like I'm missing something. It's really just like it's got a real strong connection to it. It's the same way as I feel about my white Strat. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, I kind of have to get over the not taking that to a gig. But saying that, I do still gig my white Strat occasionally. But yeah, this is my number one live gigging guitar right now. This is, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and I always will because it's just a beast. It's just a beastly guitar. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'd recommend and why there. Nothing wrong with the Fender Professional, nothing wrong with the Fender Original 60s at all. But for me, I would recommend Nick's guitars over them personally. I just think they're gorgeous, and like I say, handmade to order. I mean, and they really are. There's something very, very cool in them. Really cool. Anyway, enough on. Stop gushing. Anyway, okay. So, hope it's not question. We'll move on to final question of the day already. Question 6 is how does a Dukes de Luda song get born? It's a very painful process involving stirrups and forceps. No, I'm joking. Normally what happens in Dukes de Luda, song-wise, is Dan, the singer, will come in with a song, or an idea of a song, and then we'll kind of like flesh it out from there. We all have our own input, like, Todd will come up with a cajon pattern, Jono will come up with bits for bass, and I'll come up with my guitar pattern, and we'll just kind of like rearrange the song going, well, instead of doing that, let's do this, and let's put some stops in here, and let's do that, and, an 80-minute guitar solo here. Anyway, no, that doesn't happen. But it's just, Dan will come in sometimes with a song that's kind of like, an idea. And then kind of like, we'll go from there more than anything. Dan's kind of like the main songwriting kind of guy in the band, but we all have input on the song. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, once Dan's got the idea of a song, we all add our parts to it, so to say. We all kind of like, and then structure it as a band. That's kind of what we do. There are times where I've come in with certain riffs or chord progressions and stuff like that have become Duke's songs. Our latest single, Ghosts, is the music is I came up with the guitar part, and then Dan came up with lyrics, and then we kind of like structured it, and as a band, like, we all came up with like an idea of like, the middle eight, how to extend the middle eight, and then come out of it, and how the dynamic rises and falls and stuff like that. So I came up with the initial idea for Ghost, and then Dan put his vocals on, and then we all kind of dove in and kind of built from there, really. I think that's the way it should be. When I joined Dukes to Luda originally, a lot of the songs were already structured. I just had to add my guitar part. You know what I mean? I joined. I wasn't an original member of the band. You know what I mean? So I kind of like had to just kind of like jump in and kind of like find my feet, so to say, in the band over like a period of a year. It took me to kind of like find where I belong in that band, and I really like where I belong in that band. Because I just get to be a guitarist, which is what I want to be. You know what I mean? The trio, when I did the trio, one of the reasons for me taking time off from a trio is the pressure of being a front man got to me eventually. After doing it for how many years I did the trio for, the pressure of being a front man and singing every song and being kind of like the guitarist as well, it caused me a lot of kind of like, it caused my anxiety to flare up, and like I was really struggling to do it. There was some gigs some of the last gigs we did as a trio, when we were gigging quite a lot. I still do the trio every now and again. We've got a gig in September, actually, a trio gig in September, which I'm really looking forward to, actually. But I just needed a bit of time away from being the front man for a while, and Dukes to Luda came along at the perfect time where I can just stand out the way and just be a guitarist, you know what I mean, who does backing vocals occasionally and just plays guitar. That's what I wanted to do. The whole kind of frontman thing was just getting on top of me. It was beating me down, to be honest with you, and I was having a real hard time being that guy. There was some gigs where I felt like I was going to throw up. I was that nervous, and that kind of like felt like I just can't be this, right? I need a break from this for a while. So, we kind of the trio isn't gone, but it's just kind of like I need a bit of time away from that kind of thing for the time being, because it was just like I need to want to do it again, you know what I mean? And I need to kind of like, be comfortable doing it. And I just wasn't at that point in time. It was just causing me all sorts of brain issues, and it was really having an effect on me. So I just needed to take time out from that. And I say, luckily, the Dukes was there, so I could just still play live and just be the guitarist, you know what I mean? I like to get out of the way more than anything, I just want to be a guitarist for a while. So, and the say the Dukes is where that I'm able to do that kind of thing, which is really, really cool. But yeah, as for Dukes Luda songs, that's how songs get born with Dukes. It's kind of like, we all write it. Like Dan will come in with an idea, or I'll come with an idea, and then it goes from there. You know what I mean? We'll all have an input. We'll all have a say, and we'll. It's all very kind of like, if one person doesn't like one bit, but the other three people do like that bit, then it's not a dictatorship. It's a democracy. The band is, and we all have a say. And if one of us doesn't like something, but the rest of us do, then it's kind of like it's kind of voting on that kind of thing. It's like well, can we just try it? And invariably it works out. It's hard work being in a band, though, I'll tell you that. It really is hard work. But, it is worth it. At the end of the day, it is fun I love being in a band. I like playing music with other people. I like making music with other people. I like bouncing ideas off other people and stuff like that. And the only time I've got for it recently, though, is Duke's band practice. I've got loads of songs that I want to record solo. I've got loads of stuff I want to record solo, instrumental stuff, and actually stuff I've got with lyrics and singing, which is not good because my voice is terrible. But I do want to record it, but I literally haven't even had time. I've been so busy with one thing or another, I just hadn't had time to get around to doing it. So the only time I got around to doing any kind of songwriting is with Dukes. So, you know, it's just, you know, it's a very busy time right now. But you know, hopefully at some point soon I'll be able to get around to recording some of my own stuff and getting some new music up on Bandcamp and on here as well. So, but yeah, that's how songs are born in Dukes. It's just kind of like, you know, an idea is added on by all the other, by everybody, and eventually it just becomes a song. So it's really cool. I like it. I like it very much. So yeah, that's how that happens. You also asked, what would you recommend to someone who wants to play guitar like me? I mean, the Dave Simpson guitar style. I don't think I have a style. I don't. People ask me all the time, can you do a how to play like Dave Simpson series? No, I can't. I don't know how. I don't know what I do. How I play is just subconscious. I don't think about what I play. I don't analyze it. I don't like to analyze it, and I feel if I did analyze it, it would kind of ruin it for me. You know what I mean? It's, if I started to sit down and really understand what I play and how I play, I think it feels weird to me to do that. And so I don't know what I do, so I can't do like a how to play like me series, because again, I don't really know what I do if I do anything. You know what I mean? I don't really understand what I do. I feel like I'm an amalgamation of like Jimi Hendrix, John Frusciante, Peter Green, and Rory Gallagher. I hope so. That's what and Mike McCready. So like that's what I aim to kind of get, is kind of like a crossbreed of all those five guitarists. But as far as kind of like, you know, how do I do it? I don't know. I literally don't know. What would I recommend to somebody who wants to play guitar like that? I mean, is listen to people like, you know, learn Jimi Hendrix and John Frusciante and Rory Gallagher and Peter Green and Mike McCready stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I'd recommend, because they're the five guys who have made me what I am. You know what I mean? Those five guitarists. It's five, isn't it? John, Jimmy, Rory, Peter, and Mike. Yeah. So those five guys are kind of like my main kind of inspirations, and they're the guitarists who have molded me into kind of like, you know, how I play. You know what I mean? I can hear certain John things in my guitar playing. I can hear John more than anybody else, definitely. But I can hear certain John things in my playing. I can hear certain Jimmy things. I can hear certain Peter Green things, certain Rory Gallagher things, certain Mike McCready things. You know, especially when I play fast, I can hear a lot of Mike McCready in kind of like when I start to play quite quick. But yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know. It's like, you know, what would I recommend? I don't know. I literally don't know. It's like, I've always said, if somebody wanted to learn how to play like me, then somebody else would have to do a series on it, because I don't know how. I don't know what I do. And plus, I don't, not to be kind of like self-deprecating, I think is the word I'm after, but I don't think how I play is you know, is that great compared to some guitarists. Like, compared to my heroes, I'm just stood on their shoulders, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I would always say, like, well, you know, learn how Jimmy played or John played, but, you know, I never see myself as anything, you know, special. You know, I just don't. I don't. I, you know, like all guitarists, I just see my flaws and where I need to improve, and I need to get better. I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? I constantly think, you know, I'm not good enough, and I kind of like that, because it makes me want to improve and get better, instead of kind of like thinking, yeah, I'm good, I am, yeah, I don't need to practice much. It's like, yeah, I'd rather think the other way of going, not good enough, you need to get better, you're not there yet. Today's intro jam, I didn't think was up to standard at all, the playing wise. I was like, come on. I felt it. You know what I mean? It really felt good, but I was like, it's just not, watching it back just to make sure the levels were okay, I was just like, not good enough, Dave. It's not good enough. You need to work harder. You know what I mean? You really need to push yourself harder. That's how I always kind of think, and that's how I feel quite a lot of the time. Because I don't, well, not quite a lot of the time, all the time. I don't like to think that I'm kind of like, you know, good or brilliant at what I do, because I think it has a way of distracting me from what I should be looking for is getting better as a guitarist, you know what I mean, and practicing more. So, and I don't like the idea of kind of like, you know, I've met some guitarists in my life who are just kind of like very, very kind of sure of themselves, and I always feel like, you know, you're never going to learn if you've got that kind of mindset. When your ego takes over and you think you're amazing, it's kind of like that's when you kind of stop learning and you stop progressing, and I don't like that. That really gets to me, and I don't like that mindset. I would much prefer to be the guitarist like, yeah, that was good, but it wasn't brilliant, and you can do better. You just have to dig deeper. You have to do better. I would much rather be that guitarist than the guitarist goes around saying, hey, watch me shred. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I like, it's not what guitar is to me. You know, guitar to me is a tool of expression. You know what I mean? This on its own like this is a guitar. When I start playing it, it becomes me. That's what I want out of this. And I want to be able to take people on like Dave Gilmour and Eddie Hazel and Jimi Hendrix and John Frusciante and people like that. When they play, they take you away on like a little kind of trip with them in their guitar solo. That's what I want. That's what I want. And I don't think I'm even halfway there yet, personally. Like, I don't feel like, you know, I've got so much more learning and practicing and understanding to go, and that's really exciting to me because I love learning about the guitar. I love learning different things. I like going, oh, I've learned a new kind of new bend or a new lick that I can incorporate into my own kind of playing, and it makes me feel this way. So when I'm feeling that way, that lick can come in there, and then it becomes part of me. You know what I mean? And then it's subconscious. It just happens. You know what I mean? I love learning guitar. I love learning new things about the guitar. I always have. I don't like the idea. I mean, you're never going to learn it all. It's impossible. You know, you're never ever going to learn. You're never going to master this thing thoroughly. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can master certain styles, but can you master everything? No, I don't think you can. It'd be a lifelong thing to master maybe a quarter of the guitar. You know what I mean? You know, you can't do everything. There's no guitarist that can do everything. Not even people like Guthrie Govan can do everything. You know what I mean? There is something that they cannot do. There will always be something they cannot do. And that's why I love the guitar. It's just this constant opportunity to learn new things and progress as a player and just just keep pushing yourself. And I love that. And that's why this thing is so special. Because it does give you that ability to express and learn and grow as a human and a guitarist and a musician, and it's just awesome. You can't really, to me, you can't really beat it. I love the guitar, I really do, and it's just awesome. And I love, you know, it just, every time I play it, I'm just so happy, and well, not always so happy. I get angry sometimes when I play it. But the thing is, it's like, you know, you can always do better, and I like that feeling. Like today's intro jam, I didn't think was any good, and I came close to scrapping it. I am, as we're recording this video, I'm still thinking, should I do a different intro jam? But I think I'm going to leave it. But I don't think it was. It's like, you need to dig deeper, Dave. You need to dig deeper. You need to find that. Like I say, I always say about, like, when I play guitar, I want people to have to feel the same emotions that I'm feeling when I'm playing. That's what I want out of the guitar, and I don't think I'm there yet. And because I'm not there yet, it really pushes me to try harder every time I pick up a guitar. I want to try harder. And if it's not there, I'll get angry. But like, you know, it's kind of worth it at the end of the day if I can get that emotion out, so to say. But anyway, what would I recommend for somebody to play out me? Look into Jimi Hendrix, John Frusciante, Rory Gallagher, Peter Green, and Mike McCready. Look into those guys, and you'll hear bits that I've taken. You know, like, you know, from Mike McCready, from John Frusciante. You know, Johnny's up there among above everyone. Johnny's my number one inspiration. He really is. And people always say, "Don't you get bored of talking about John Frusciante?" No. I have spoke massively about John Frusciante since I first got into him in the first year of me playing guitar. I have had massive rants and raves to people about John Frusciante and how much I love him. To people, much to their dismay, for 17 years. You know, that's. I don't think that's ever gonna. I would highly doubt it's ever gonna change because he's a massive influence on me, and he's just like the guitarist who kind of like. When Jimmy doesn't inspire me, when Mike doesn't inspire me, when Roy doesn't inspire me, when Peter doesn't inspire me, John always will. If that makes any sense. It's a bit of a weird statement to make, but it really is true. It's like, you know, when those others don't inspire me, John's always there. All I have to do is watch one video of John, I'm just like, I want to play guitar. You know what I mean? Sometimes when I watch Jimi Hendrix, it's a bit too much and a bit heavy, and I don't want to play guitar, I just want to watch him. And just want to absorb it. Same with Mike McCready and Rory Gallagher and Peter Green. I just want to kind of absorb it. But John always inspires me to play and to push and be better. And that's awesome. Not to say the others don't inspire me to do that, but John is the main driving force in my guitar playing life and always has been and probably always will be. I find it very hard to believe that, you know, a lot of guitarists have come and gone in my guitar playing, like, well, not come and gone, but definitely appeared in my life who have had an impact on me, but nothing as strong as what John's done. You know what I mean? It really, you know, he's one of those things where I can happily sit there all day. Yeah, playing that style of John, or just kind of do it. You know, stuff like that, and then guitar solos, you know, like John, it's stuff just makes me very happy. So yeah, I don't get bored of talking about John now. I'll talk about John till the cows come home, and they're about 1,000,000 miles away at this point in time. So yeah, I don't get bored of talking about John, but sorry, I don't think I've answered your question. Sorry, I just tangented and I didn't actually answer the question. But yeah, what do I recommend somebody who wants to play a guitar? Let's get back to the question. Hey Dave. When I started answering his questions, I was getting the questions earlier on when I was like really quick. I was like, is this going to be a not tangent free because I've already done it, but is it going to be a tangentlessness Q&A? No, here we are. Anyway, but yeah, playing guitar, I don't really know. Like I don't know what I do. It's subconscious. I don't ever think about what I play. I just play because I love to play, and that's all I like to play. Bing. But yeah, I don't know what I do. So I've always said if people want to know how to play like me, someone's going to have to sit and analyse what I do and then do a YouTube how to play like me series, which I'd find a bit weird. Because, again, it's like, you know, I am always kind of like, you know, why would you want to play like me? You know, because I'm always like, you know, I don't know, there's better players than me. Why would you want to play like me? It's kind of, you know, I don't know. It's just the way I think, you know. Like I said, I never think I'm anything special on the guitar. I just, you know, because I don't think I'm, you know. But be that what it may. But like I say, yeah. I mean, those 5 guitarists that I mentioned, look into their playing and just take bits of what they do that you like, and then you'll kind of start to understand where my style, if it can be called such a thing, comes from, you know, especially John Frusciante. You know, it's a real mishmash of all these kind of those 5 guitarists. But yeah, like I said, I can't do series on myself. I don't understand what I do. I just don't know what I do. I just do things. I just pick up a guitar and, you know, it's one of those things. The guitar to me is just like one of those real kind of like, I don't think about it, I'll just start playing it. That's what I like doing. No, there was no thought process to that. I was in D minor, and that's about as much as I remember. That's all I need to know. Yeah, let's say. So that's what I like to play. That's what I like to do. I just like to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I struggle to answer questions about that kind of thing because I don't really know. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't really understand or know what I do. So yeah, I really do apologise. That's not an answer at all, and I do apologise immensely for that. It's not good enough. But it's really hard to answer a question that you don't have It's really hard to answer a question you don't have an answer to. You know what I mean? Because I don't really have an answer to that. I don't really know what I do, or how I even do it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. I'm sure if you ask somebody like Eric Johnson, like, what do you do? He wouldn't be able to tell you. I was like, I don't know, I just do it. It's one of those things. And ask Jimi Hendrix or John Frusciante, how do they do it? It's like they probably just kind of like, they don't know. They just do it. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of subconscious kind of things where you just like, I don't really know how I do what I do. I just pick up guitar and that happens. Not to rank myself anywhere near Eric Johnson, Jimi Hendrix, or John Frusciante, because I'm not anywhere near that kind of level or anything like that. But it's kind of like on the same kind of thing of like, I don't know what I do, so I can't answer that question. Anyway, I'm going to have to finish there because I'm running out of time on the camera. But anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this Q&A, everybody. I hope I answered your questions okay, apart from my last one. I do apologise immensely on that. It's not an answer, so I do apologise immensely. But I do hope you enjoyed this Q&A. And I will see you again on Friday for the final review on the Harley Benton ST. I'm not going to talk about it now because I'll talk about it then. So yeah, like I say, in the description box below is all the questions and timestamps. There's also a link to me website and Dave merch if you feel inclined. So yeah, I'll see you again on Friday. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening, everybody, and have a great one. Goodbye. No.